On behalf of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, I, Shweta Mishra, feel privileged to welcome you all to the first plenary session on the theme Management Practices and Legal Framework for Facing Challenges of SANMANTRANA 2023, a multidisciplinary international congress on Industry 5.0 and Paradigm Shift Emerging Challenges. Today, we are fortunate to have Dr. Shitla Prasad Pandey, Head Psychology, Wing Christian College, Allahabad, as our session chair, and Dr. T. Mandal, Professor, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Management, Indore, Coordinator for the Institute of Commerce, and also heads the Center of Excellence in Happiness Studies at Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya as our session co-chair. Dr. B. Ramesh, Head of the Department, Synergy Business School, Hyderabad, Dr. Preeti Mishra, Professor and Head School of Legal Studies, BBAU, Lucknow, as the speakers of the session. Now I request Dr. T. K. Mandal to welcome Dr. Shitla Prasad Pandey. Now I again request Dr. T. K. Mandal to welcome Dr. B. Ramesh. Now I request Dr. T. K. Mandal sir to say a few words to welcome our speaker who have joined us online, Dr. Preeti Mishra.
Dr. Mishra, are you online?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Welcome virtually. We were expecting you to be here physically, but for whatever reason.
Yeah, because of my father ill health, sir. He was serious. So I could not.
Happens,
Now he is stable and getting treatment at home.
Great. So you could make it online. You know, we are really fortunate.
Yeah.
And forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Before the session begins, it is my pleasure to introduce to this gathering our session chair for this first plenary session. Dr. Shitla Prasad Pandey is presently heading the Department of Psychology at Wing Christian College, Allahabad. He has obtained his PhD on identification of learning disabled children and their behavioral correlates from Gorakhpur University, Gorakhpur. Sir did his MBA from Institute of Business Management, Chennai. He is specialized in the areas of learning disabilities in children, research methods, organizational psychology, personality, clinical psychology statistics, AIDS, environmental psychology, and peace psychology. He has teaching experience of 33 years. Sir has been conferred with many awards like Eminent Personality of 20th Century and Bharat Shiksha Ratan in the year 2009. He owns many administrative responsibilities like Dean Research Development and Extension, in charge Secretary IQAC, and Coordinator School of Management, Coordinator of Hotel Management. Sir is associated with various academic bodies such as Brain and Behavioral Sciences, Cambridge University, Commentary Proposal, Appointments, Research Board of Advisor, and has membership with many academic associations and executive committees, and he is associated with University Teaching and Training Program. He has penned many books, Statistics in Behavioral Sciences, Psychometrics, and Statistical Applications in Education and Behavioral Sciences, Psychological Perspective of HIV and AIDS, Understanding Environment, Eco-Psychological Lifestyle, and Management of Indian Organizations. His research work includes 24 publications in national and international journals and presented more than 50 papers in different conferences. He has participated in international conferences in Malaysia in 2006 and in UK in the year 2007. He has an extensive field experience to his credit in the field of AIDS and psychology, environmental psychology, psychology of terrorism, and associated with various organizations as consultant, trainer of employees of organizations. Welcome you, sir. Now I feel delighted to introduce session co-chair Dr. T. K. Mandal to this gathering. Dr. T. K. Mandal is currently a professor in management at Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. He is the coordinator for the Institute of Commerce and also heads the Center of Excellence in Happiness Studies at SAAV. His earlier stints include the position of Vice President, Corporate HR in JK Paper, New Delhi, Assistant Vice President with Aditya Birla Group, and a faculty member at NITI, Mumbai. Dr. Mandal is an alumnus of Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, India, with a BTech honors and MTech in Industrial Management. He obtained a doctorate from National Institute of Industrial Engineering, Mumbai. Dr. Mandal has published several papers in reputed journals and also featured in interviews in leading print and electronic media like Times of India, Ascent, TOI Online, Hindustan Times, Financial Express, Mint, Mail Today, Great Place to Work Institute, timesjob.com, Boardroom Conversation, etc. He was also a panel member of Business Schools ranking by Business and Economy. A certified executive coach by Ericsson Coaching International, Dr. Mandal is also certified by Thomas International for their psychometric assessments. He is also an expert in job analysis and job evaluation certified by Hay Group and a trained assessor of competencies. He is a recipient of Indira Super Achiever Award 100 Most Talented Global HR Leaders of year 2015 by CHRO Asia. He is also the recipient of 100 Top HR Minds in India in the year 2018 by World HRD Congress and Chester Barnard Distinguished Professor Award in the year 2022 by IIMRF. Before handing over the first session to you, sir, I would like to introduce you all with the first speaker of the session, Dr. B. Ramesh. Now, I would like to introduce our first speaker of the session, Dr. B. Ramesh. Professor B. Ramesh devoted a rich experience in the field of academia, serving for almost 37 years as a founding faculty in commerce and management at postgraduate level in the state university teaching courses like MCOM, MCA, and MPhil. Sir has also served as head of the department and chairman, Board of Studies in Commerce for 15 years. He was also Dean Faculty of Commerce for 6 years at Goa University. Prior to this, he served in northeastern region of Mizoram, Assam, and Mizoram states. His leadership is celebrated for initiating innovative programs and pedagogies and corporate internship at Goa University. Sir has guided a total of 17 doctoral works till date in the areas of accounting, finance, investments, entrepreneurship, corporate governance, and portfolio management. Dedicated more than 150 PhD theses from various universities in India. He has worked with UGC, SBI, SIDBI, and industries for various research projects. Currently, he is working in the editorial board of 10 reputed research journals in the country. Sir has published more than 100 research papers in the distinguished and reputed journals at national and international level, including Scopus journals. In addition to research publications, a total of 4 books based on the doctoral works guided have been published by reputed publication houses. Sir has served as the president of Indian Accounting Association from the year 1999 to 2000, president of Indian Commerce Association from the year 2011 to 2012, and on the board of Association of Indian Management Schools, AIMS, from the year 2015 to 2021 as a co-opted member. Sir has worked with UGC, AICTE, NAC, and other bodies as an expert in various committees. He has organized and directed more than 80 workshops and conferences of national and international level. He has also organized Vice Chancellor's Conference on NEP 2020 involving more than 16 Vice Chancellors all over the country. Welcome you all. Now, I would like to hand over the session to the session chair.
Thank you, dear. Give me opportunity to start this session. Respected Professor Mandal, Professor Ramesh, my dear audience. This is a very important occasion for us. Sri Vaishnav Vidyapith Vishwavidyalaya Indore is organizing an international conference that is known as the SANMANTRA. It's a very important name. I am giving to thanks and the congratulations to the team who had selected this particular name is the Samantra. The means the people organized to think what we have and how can we contribute to the society. Today's session is dedicated, this particular session is dedicated for the management practice and the legal framework for facing challenges. As per objective of this theme, management is a strategy. But I may think that it is really a strategy. Even a strategy, management is one of the core theme of the management. But without thinking of the strategy, a manager can't do anything. It is my thing. So I may think this session may enlighten with the how to practice in the management. Not only that particular way, how to managing, but what legal application we can apply to that. Legal application means that is linked to the ethics, to the humanity, to the objective of the society, to think as per our constitutional objectives. So this particular theme is very important for the discussion and for the objective of our audience. May I request to Professor Ramesh to share his views about the management practice. Professor Ramesh.
Good afternoon, respected Professor Pandey, the chairman of the session, today's technical session, Professor Mandal, co-chair, and Sweta Mishra from SVB Indo, and rapporteur Ruchi Arya, and other colleagues of the university and the students. It's my deep privilege to be present on this auspicious occasion. And this is my second occasion to stand in front of this podium in this university campus. The first one was about 6 years back, immediately after Professor Upindra had taken over as the Vice Chancellor. I visited, and this is my second visit. So I'm very glad to be here. Now, without mentioning any more words and then the time factor, as we have already crossed the time limit. So let me introduce the subject on which I'm supposed to address for 25 minutes. And now I'm given a grace period of another 5 minutes. So in 30 minutes, I try to close it. And the topic on which I'm trying to share with you is Industry 5.0 and management perspectives of management education, and then careers, what we're going to foresee. And when the theme of Industry 5.0 was given to me to speak on, because right now we are undergoing through the Industry 4.0. Now, unfortunately, what happens that we cannot demark whether we are going through Industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Definitely, we can say now we have crossed 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. But then the point comes when whether we have crossed 4.0 and then we have entered. But then definitely we are looking forward to 5.0 with a lot of ramification in terms of advancements in technology and the educational modes and so on. So management education being the pioneer in terms of forging ahead into the future. So therefore, maybe it is the right theme in terms of Industry 5.0. But according to me, we are still under 4.0. So it is on that presumption I'm making a presentation. Can you please put on my PPT? And when we talk about Industry 4.0, you need to understand the phases from Industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. And I would only sum up without going to the details, because if I have to explain, it takes a lot of time. And 1.0, we focus, the industry was focused in terms of manufacturing activities based on the human resources, and then the natural gas, and so on, and even to that extent animals. And when we moved to Industry 2.0, it was a bit of automation in terms of hydroelectricity and then electricity and so on. The industry was mechanized in terms of electrification. And when we moved to Industry 3.0, then the introduction of the IT, computers, and automation, and then automatic systems of industry designs, and so on. So the automation came in 3.0. And when we talk about 4.0, so we have crossed all those stages, and now it is a question of the next level of automation in terms of total IT, machine learning. Moving. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, the phases of 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 in nutshell. As the picture indicates, also it gives you from which stage to which stage now we are passed on. Right now we are still under Industry 4.0, not only India, but also across the world. Maybe in advanced countries, so there is a some kind of phase in the Industry 5.0 which they have entered. But when it comes to India, we are still under Industry 4.0. But we are looking forward, and we can't say when the Industry 5.0 would start. It all depends, because the changes that are happening are rampant and dynamic, and we can't expect at what time we enter into 5.0. Like as we have seen in terms of our mobile network, 5G network, what we have seen only in metropolitan cities, it is experimented, it has not come. And maybe by the next year, 23 end or 24 beginning, most of the cities in the country, we will experience the mobile network of 5G, of all networks. So it takes little time. But then wherever the digital platforms have already been created across the major metropolitan cities, so entering into 5G is not a big issue at all. Because when I traveled from Goa, my mobile shows it is only 4G. And when I came to Jaipur, day before yesterday, it showed it flash 5G. And then when I came to Indore, it was 4G. And then today it is showing 5G. So it takes some kind of time for us to entirely get converted into. Same is the case with the industry as well as the educational institutions. So irrespective of that, now I'm going to show you what are the phases that have happened and what we are talking about in terms of the, as I said, we are still under 4.0. So what are the technologies that are driving us? that is in terms of the IoT and cloud computing. As most of you are familiar, that in 5G, cloud computing is essential. So you can't run your mobile without adopting the app of cloud computing. And then artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning. And then finally, the most important thing is the cyber security. Because with the technological development, emerging technologies, the technology security is also equally important. So cyber security is the most important thing because most of us, we experience a lot of hackers who are always waiting to hack on your various social platforms, including your banking networks and so on. So cybersecurity is the most important thing. Without matching cybersecurity laws and the cybersecurity platforms, the technology that you blindly adopt has no meaning and it is the most cursed thing. So therefore, cybersecurity is the important. And when I'm talking about all these four areas, these are emerging areas where the career opportunities and industry dimensions are going to emerge in the next generation. Cybersecurity, we are still in nascent stage, in India at least. We are still nascent stage because of that reason, we are finding so many fraudulent practices that are happening, including hacking of your, even email is also hacked. So that is unimaginable when your email account is hacked. So you can't imagine that. So now think of your online banking activities, which can be also be the immediate target. So you need to be careful, and the important thing, the cyber security is at the first place before we adopt to the new technologies. Now, I'm just trying to show you a few examples of how the industry, when I talk about industry, I'm talking about the corporates. And the corporates are not necessarily in India, but the globe, across the globe, including India. I'm trying to show you here few examples of 6 to 7 global players, including Indian corporates, in terms of how much money they're making, in terms of their sales revenue, how much revenue they're generating, and from which products of their product profile they are generating the revenue. And then in terms of the ownership, who are the people who are owning that particular industry, that company, and also in terms of from which segments of their product profile they are making the revenue. So it is on these parameters I'm going to show you examples of 6 to 7 global players. This is only just to tell you how they have been doing the business across the globe for the last especially starting from the period of pre-COVID and post-COVID, which means that it's exactly about 4 years period. Now the data what I am trying to show you in terms of these pictures, PPT, is up to 22 September financial year, 22 financial year, and some companies have shown up to September quarter. Okay, this is only to make you understand how this would. Now look at look at the Google. Is it audible? Look at the Google. Now what I've shown you is the Google is being a global player. I'm trying to show you in terms of the region-wise coverage of this company in terms of its business activities. Region-wise in the sense, I'm talking about the global level. Now, if you look, the major stakeholding of the Google is in US. So almost to the extent of 50%. And the next highest percent of their geographical coverage is in terms of EMEA, which means the countries of the regions of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And the next coverage is in terms of APEC, which we called as Asia Pacific regions. And the last one is Canada and Mexico. So that is the coverage of the Google company. Imagine this is the in terms of the percentage of the business which is covered world over of their total business. Now in future, in fact, in most of the global players, when they are looking towards India, because they want to expand their geographical business region, especially in India and South Asia Pacific region. And within this APEC region, India is a major stakeholder for them as a business partner. So that speaks about the potential of the Indian economy for most of the global players. This is just an example of a Google company which I showed. Now, the second parameter, what I mentioned in terms of who owns the company, stakeholders. All of you know that the founder of Infosys, Narayan Murthy, Sudha Murthy, as all of you are aware of it. But now look in terms of the stakeholding in that global company of Infosys. Together, Narayan Murthy, Mrs. Narayan Murthy, his son, it's about 2% of the total stakeholder. And rest is held by whom? Now you can check in that. The majority stakeholders is the FIIs, which means that this is the credibility of an Indian company which started 3 decades back. And now today, it has shared its shareholding. It has shared its shareholding to various stakeholders, not in India, but even outside. Now, if you look in terms of the major stakeholding of this Infosys, if you see, it is the FIS to the extent of 30%. Foreign institutional investors, FIS. And then in terms of the corporates, institutional investors in India, the second major stakeholding. And the public shareholding, if you see, it's about close to 16%. I'm talking about this being in a listed, public listed company in any stock exchange, as well as outside the country. I'm talking about in terms of market capitalization. In the financial year 2022, based on market capitalization of this company, on the basis of that, I am trying to tell you that these are the stakeholders. So what's the point that you try to drive in from this data? The data is that you may be the founder of a company, but then you are relegated to a minor shareholder of the company. So the company runs through ages, decades, and yet the founders of the company are still valued in terms of their goodwill. Normally, what happens in the corporate world, that if you have a minor shareholding, then you are out. Nobody bothers about you. But Narayan Murthy and Mrs. Sudha and his son, together with 2% of total shareholding of this particular company in terms of the market capitalization value, they are considered to be, though they are not directly involved in the management, they are considered to be the most important stakeholders of the company. So that is, the values are changing. The values are what? When you are starting a company for a business purpose, the purpose is not to make profit, right? I am going to deal with those points of what is going to come into the 21st century and then industry 5.0. And the next is in terms of who rules the health insurance industry in India. In terms of the premium that is generated, because the insurance industry, in case of manufacturing industry, it is the sales turnover. You generate revenue from sales turnover. In case of insurance company, for them the revenue comes out of premium, insurance premium. So on the basis of the parameter of insurance premium, now the total industry health, I'm talking about health insurance. Please remember that it is not the total insurance. I'm talking about only health insurance. Health insurance, their total stake holding is about 73,582 crores, only in terms of premium. Now how it is being shared by various public limited companies, government companies, and private companies. So this gives you an idea. Why I'm showing this data to you is that how the future industry is going to be driven. Now, this is the trend that has happened till now, till 2022. And now this trend is going to emerge further in the same directives, even in the next few years. So the driving point here is that the private sector is going to play a major role as far as the insurance industry is concerned. Because in US, Europe, everywhere, the 90% of the, even in US, if it is even more than 95% of the insurance business is done by private sector. So that is the trend that what we have seen. And now the same thing is going to come into the picture, because the LIC, when it was disinvested, there was a lot of criticism, LIC being the most profit-making company, why the government of India is divesting its investment from it. That the order of the day in terms of the industry running is that the government has no business there, what we have to say. Government has no business to be in business. That is the principle what we believe. But at the same time, the government has to mind its business to be in business in certain key and strategic sectors. And that's my belief. You can't shed away all your 100% stake in the companies which are strategic, because there are some strategic industry sectors which are relevant from the point of view of uplifting the social cause. So those sectors cannot be divested. And that's my academic belief. Whether people would agree or not, that's a different, because all of us, we are supposed to have divergent opinion on that. Okay, so this is what the trend that is now being set in terms of insurance industry, whether you like or not, but this is going to be the trend. And this trend is going to be forged ahead, where the private sector in India is going to be the major stakeholder in insurance, health insurance industry. Now we have even Indian Railways, how it has emerged. And there's a corporate form of organization which is called as the IRCTC. And you have seen how the progress. One thing that I noticed when IRCTC has come into the picture, there's some kind of progress in terms of services, service to the public, service to the passengers. with the least inconvenience, because online booking of the tickets that what we have seen, and then in flights we call in-flight service, here in-train service of catering services. There's definitely an improvement in terms of the activities that IRCTC has undertaken. So we don't know, because the moment the Indian railways are privatized, so I don't know where it ends there. But I don't think the government of India is serious about privatizing total Indian railways. Only in terms of certain services, like as you have seen, catering services, online booking, they have established a corporate form of organization, what is called as cities. And I'm sure that most of you have traveled in the trains, and now the train services we have also experienced in terms of the fast train. And the recent example is what is that new train, fast moving train that has been started. Not able to recall the name of the train. Vande Bharat. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and that is the reason why, I've not even moved 10% of my presentation. So, but then I can't help. So I will cut short. I will cut short. So with focusing in terms of my theme. So the point here is that the service is at the motto, and with the technology that is coming to the picture, what is more important is that how well the customers are serviced, how well you are put into ease for traveling long distance within short time. So these are all the service motors with which this kind of corporatization of Indian Railways are happening. So there's nothing about that, and for that even the infrastructure has been developed, and maybe we have herited Indian Railways from the Britishers when they were here, but then now that has forgotten the history. Now the Indian railway system, Indian government has built its own technology, and we have reached to the far most difficult terrain of the hills of Himalayas, where the Indian railways have been moved. So I think maybe I would close with this slide and with a concluding remark. Okay, and then I will not go into that. No, I have not concluded. You don't clap. And the Google company. Now, what is the basis for the Google company? From which regions it makes its money? This is the most important thing for you to watch. And the majority of the revenue comes from the search advertising, and the next head on which it earns its revenue is in terms of AdSense, and then next followed by YouTube, Google Play, Google Cloud. But I wanted to mention one point for your understanding. Sundar Pichai was an employee. He was not a CEO. When he reached to the CEO level, he was an ordinary employee who has been working in the company. Now, can you tell me that how an ordinary employee can reach to the stage of CEO? How Sundar Pichai has reached to the level of CEO of a global player of Google? Now, this is going to be the future trend there, where employees now are given an opportunity to become part of the stakeholders in the company. And Google Pichai has developed his products which are very rare, which were not existing anyway. And then what is the most important product that was invented or promoted by Pichai? Google Cloud. And that is the one that has brought him to this level. And that is one of the products that he has developed. He is an ordinary employee, but then he has created a platform of Google Cloud, which has brought wide acceptance across the world. And that has almost doubled the revenue of the company. So this is what the ample opportunities available for the employee. So what matters is your innovation, creation. You may be an employee, but as long as you are not innovative and creative, you will not survive in the industry. So that is the lesson that you need to keep in mind. And now with the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science that are coming up, and now most of the Indian universities and management institutions have already started specialized programs in terms of even engineering courses in terms of AI and ML. And the future is only in terms of data. But the one point I want to drive here for the sake of all of you, that whatever technology may try to dominate your human resource industry, but the ultimate thing is that human resource talent management is the ultimate thing, because the technology cannot override the humans. Humans have to override the technology. The technology is created by humans. Even artificial intelligence, AI, is created by humans. So humans cannot be replaced by AI or machine learning. So therefore, you need to enter into such areas where you become the control and central points of creation of that AI and ML, data sciences, data management. So these are the emerging areas where the future lies. Industry 5.0 speaks about only these emerging technologies. And I'm not saying more than 80% of the jobs, what you are going to have ahead in future, are driven by technology. If you don't have any kind of technological knowledge or skills, then you are out of it. And you may say that I'm not a technology person. It doesn't matter whether you are a sales person, or HR person, or finance person, technological savvy, you need to be technological savvy. You may not be a master. We may not be master in all our digital platforms, but you need to be technical, technology savvy. What it means that you need to have a domain knowledge of all the technological tools that are employed in your domain knowledge. Without that, you are out. If you are continue to be only in traditional mode of education in management, I think you are going to be at the backdrop of the industry seekers. So with this, I'm sorry, I could not complete my entire present. In fact, my major presentation is in the subsequent slides, but for the time factor, I won't be able to do that. But then this PPT will be shared over, because I have already shared with the organizers. If you want, you can seek further. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now, I would like to introduce our second speaker of the session, Professor Dr. Preeti Mishra. Professor Dr. Preeti Mishra is presently Dean, School of Legal Studies and ex-head of the Department of Human Rights, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow. She is a postgraduate in Economics and Law from Lucknow University. She was awarded LLD in Law from the Lucknow University in 2004. She has been coordinator of Department of Law, School for Legal Studies, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow. Her research interest lies in the field of women and gender issues, ethnic minority, marginalized sections of society, human rights of rural and urban poor, family violence, aging education, environment, HIV, AIDS, criminal justice administration, victimology, and other development issues concerning human rights law. She has nearly 22 years of experience in university and college teaching and development fields. She has nearly 116 research papers and articles published in different research journals and books of national and international repute, touching upon various aspects of human rights on various social, cultural, and developmental issues. Besides, she has presented more than 100 papers in national and international seminars and conferences. She is supervisor and guide of PhD students on women and other human rights issues concerning administration of criminal justice. 9 PhDs have been awarded under her able guidance, and 4 PhD candidates are presently enrolled under her. She has also delivered nearly 90 invited talks and lectures on social legal issues in different universities. She has legal aid camps, including live radio talks in phone-in program of Gyan Vani channel. She also has the credit of organizing nearly 70 national and international seminars, conferences, besides organizing legal aid camps, debates, educational, slogan writing, and painting competitions in her own university. Professor Misra has received certificates of excellence for her academic distinction. She was awarded for academic work by Shri JNPG College Lucknow in 2005 with Sankalp Seva Samman by Sankalp Parivar, an NGO of Lucknow in 2008. She was conferred Certificate of Honor for Writing Work by All Press and Writers Association Lucknow on 15 January 2012. She also received Certificate of Appreciation for an Outstanding Academic and Administrative Professional by Baba BBAU on 8 March 2017. Professor Mishra is a member of various administrative and academic bodies of not only BBAU but of the other universities and academic bodies of national and international repute. I welcome you, ma'am, for the deliberation.
Thank you so much. How much time I have?
Ma'am, 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor of Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth University Indore for giving me this opportunity to interact with you all on this occasion of International Congress. I would also like to thank Dr. Namit Gupta ji, the secretary of this Congress, who has been in constant touch with me. Then I would also like to convey my regards to Dr. T.K. Mandal ji. We had the occasion to meet him online twice, I think, in the last 2 years. My dear co-panelists, Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Nandgopal, all the participants of the International Congress. The topic that I have chosen is artificial intelligence, legal and ethical issues. Let me see how much I can justify during this time of 25 minutes, because the topic is very, very current and of vital importance for all. We all know that because the theme of this session is management practices and legal framework. So the word law, that is of 3 words, LAW. It covers the whole universe. What is there on the land, air, water, and the space. Everything is governed by the legal principles. If you look at our own life, we see that from morning to evening until night, we all are governed by law in one way or the other. So the artificial intelligence, which is nothing but where the intelligence is being attributed by human to the highest form of machine, that is the computers, is also subjected to some kind of laws. It is supposed that human beings are the most intelligent species on this earth. And I know that, and I'm sure that you all must have watched the movie Terminator, where the robot was overpowering the man. In our daily life also, we see that whether it is our TV, our fridge, our washing machine, these are also programmed that they can work with little commands. So these are nothing but all are the examples of the artificial intelligence. When we are surfing the Facebook, we do get Facebook friends list automatically. It is all because of the artificial intelligence. So the computers can think, work, and decide like humans through machine learning. So what is this machine learning? Machine learning is nothing but a computer program which studies various examples, creates algorithms, and take decisions. And if in simple word we talk about, we see that artificial intelligence is nothing but teaching the computers that how to behave. Like we behave with our children. We teach them how to observe the things, how to learn, how to behave in the school, how to behave with your friends, colleagues, and in the society. In the same way, we are also trying to teach these machines then how they have to behave with humans. And recently, we have the very example of Chat GPT. It is nothing but a cutting-edge new helper bought by the Elon Musk, which is backed by tech firm Open Artificial Intelligence. And this superhuman tech can do a variety of complicated tasks on a one go, from composing complex dissertations to composing musics, preparing our PPT, and doing a lot of things, because of which recently, just yesterday, it has been banned by the Bangalore as well by the US also, because it has the efficacy of promoting as a cheating tool. It is being used as a cheating tool. And it is also affecting our this originality, our power to create something new. So that though it is a good technique, but it is being misused. So how this artificial intelligence is interfering in our life, and how and what are its advantages, what are disadvantages, whether there are legal framework for controlling this artificial intelligence or not, that is a point of deliberation of my presentation. So this artificial intelligence is where the efforts are made to develop the machine to work like humans as intellectuals and to take decisions on their own according to the circumstances and the work required without any human intervention. Artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. The capacity of a digital computer or computer controlled robot to perform tasks typically associated with intelligent human beings, that is, human beings. Artificial intelligence is displayed by machines as opposed to the natural intelligence displayed by human and animals. AI systems function by ingesting vast quantities of labeled training data, analyzing the data for correlation and patterns, and employing these patterns to predict the future states. So AI applications include advanced web search engines, recommendation systems used by YouTube, Amazon, Netflix, etc. If you are having an iPhone, you have the Siri talking to you, answering all your questions and queries. Amazon Alexa, just by commands, they are doing the things for you. They are recognizing your voice, they are answering the questions. And we do have the example of self-driven car, Tesla. And we know that in Delhi also the metros are running without drivers. They are computer operated, though just for the sake of instilling the sense of security in the mind of the passengers, some driver is there, but it is automated. It is driving itself through the GPS technology, to the proximity sensor, which is helping the driver. So these cars and trains all are running with the help of the artificial intelligence only. And whenever we are typing on our mobile phones, if we are able to type in any other language, then we can help with this software which is installed in our phones. So when we are typing, the mobile itself gives you suggestive words. It converts it for you. It is nothing but the example of the artificial intelligence. So this chatbot, which is presently on discussion, and lots of debate is going on, it is also the example of machine learning. So let us see that whether it is of recent origin artificial intelligence, which has come into discussions, or it has got the historical context also. So if we see, we find that in olden times also, we have the concept like mechanical slaves, mechanical demons. Then we have some kind of a doll like Pygmalion, were used to alive itself. So these were the sort of the intelligence that was being used by the humans to create these kinds of things. So in Greek also, a lots of machines have been created where they were using the automated data. There was a fire engine, a organ, and this engine also, which were running with the help of the vapor. Then we have the example of Tarentum, which was a kind of pigeon. It was a mechanical bird. And in China, in 1088, we have the example of automatic bell, which used to ring after at an interval of 1 hour or so. So if we see that artificial intelligence is not a new for our society, it has been there for a long time. And if we see that who has been the originator of this word artificial intelligence, the credit goes to John McCarthy, who is known as father of AI, artificial intelligence. In 1956, he organized a workshop where the word AI was first time used. And then in if we look upon the artificial intelligence, we see that in 60s and 70s, the humans have started working through the computers for giving commands to certain machines where the machine can learn and they can behave in given situations. In 1981, Japan also started the 5th generation program. It was nothing but an example of use of AI in our life. Then in Britain, we have a project of LV. European Union have the ESPIT program. And in 1983, the microelectronics and computer technology was established for this very purpose. So these are the examples, historical examples where AI has been used. And recently, if we see that IBM company, through the use of a mechanical computer, our great player, कास्परो, जो कि शतरंज खेलते हैं, उनको जो है कंप्यूटर ने जो है वो हरा दिया था. And then इसके अलावा कुछ some scientists have also developed a robot which has also completed the work in a few minutes, which could be completed by humans in hours. So by the use of this technology, by the artificial intelligence, a lot of work can be done within minutes and without the manpower or with the help of very less manpower. So this artificial intelligence can be of different type. There can be certain machines which may respond and they work when the command is given to them. There may be the machines with limited memory and they work on the basis of the pre-programmed knowledge and the observation. And then there is principle of mind where machines try to understand the feelings and behavior of the human beings. And then there are some machines which are very much self-reliant. They can do anything by understanding the human behavior and the feelings. Now let us see what are the advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence and how it has been addressed by the law. So we see that the artificial intelligence can be used for having picturization of different sports live at the field. It may be used for the purpose of modification in the manufacturing process. In the space, there are so much discoveries are going on. They can be done with the help of AI. We know that how on the moon and on the Mars, the robots are going. So the robotics is nothing but the use of AI, where the discoveries are being made in the space and new things are being discovered through this robotics only. And then for the purpose of cyber security also, like Dr. Ramesh said, that cyber security is also very, very important area for the purpose of artificial intelligence. In cyber security, this AI is very, very helpful in cracking the crimes, in solving the cases of forgery, and then death of financial irregularities. And this AI can also keep check on the trading patterns. And we all are indulging in online shopping after COVID. We all know that how much online shopping is being done by us or by us. And this shopping platforms, they are also using the artificial intelligence, because by utilizing the artificial intelligence, they do study our behavior. If we are searching for a particular thing, it comes with different choices for that particular apparel or any kind of thing that we are going to purchase. So it gives a suggestive list of things, just what we are searching for. So this artificial intelligence has made our life very, very easy, very, very comfortable, so far as cracking the crimes in the space or the cyber space is concerned. It saves a lot of time, and it helps her in identifying various unknown threats which are there in our life, in our surroundings. And through this machine learning, through this artificial intelligence, a lot of data can be handled. It can save and secure the atmosphere for the vulnerable groups. Like Sir said, that in Japan, there's a lot of older persons, and they may be helped with the use of the artificial intelligence. So whether it is overall security is concerned or anything like making our life easy, the artificial intelligence is of great help. Then what are the disadvantages of the artificial intelligence? Because we know that whatever thing is created artificially, if we have fed it with the certain kinds of command, so sometimes that command may go corrupt, or the software that we have installed, the program that we have written may go corrupted. Like we have the example of Facebook chatbot, where a program was created and two chatbots were interacting with each other, and they were given certain kind of language. But after some time, they started communicating themselves, forgetting that command that they were given. Then that chatbot was to be closed, because it was felt that it does not, it was apprehension that what they are talking about, and that it was not easy to codify the language of that computer. So that program was to be shut down. And in 2018, the Australia executed a plan to connect its a network of CCTV cameras to the existing facial recognition and biometric databases. So if the biometric databases are being used, or the face recognition technique is being used, it may go against the interest of the human being. It may be our human rights violation. Like when the Aadhaar came in India, there was so much apprehension that a lot of data will be collected by the governmental agencies, because they are recognizing our faces, they are having our iris, they are taking our fingerprints. And if the data is being collected of such a large number of population, that then there is very much chance that it may be misused. So initially there was a lot of apprehension for this Aadhaar also, but then the Supreme Court decided that with certain restrictions, the government can go ahead with that particular plan. So now we are having Aadhaar, and government is having a lot of data through this artificial intelligence about each and every citizen of India. And then Amazon was also under fire for directly marketing a facial recognition product, which was called Recognition, for the law enforcement agencies. It was for use in conjunction with police body cameras, which would allow police to identify people in the real time. And the product was piloted with police departments in Florida, Washington, Oregon, and in Orlando. But that was also criticized and taken back. So this artificial intelligence is having the problem of intervention in our right to privacy. It may also put threat to our security, because AI is completely unregulated presently. And it is also feared that this artificial technology may be discriminative, and sometimes it may be incorrect also. So it may result into various kinds of operations. And we know that in a human rights discourse today, we are very much there for the protection of the human rights of each and everyone. But how this artificial intelligence will divide us of many of our fundamental rights, the constitutional rights, the human rights, because it may be discriminatory, it may be violating our right to dignity. It may put threat to our life and liberty. These are all constitutional rights which are there guaranteed to each and everyone, not only the citizen, but non-citizens of who are living in India. So it may interfere with their lives. Then there are examples of that how this AI has been misused in the United States and in other countries. You all must have heard about the Cambridge Analytica that was under scanner for the artificial intelligence algorithm, which has granted larger credit limits to men than women on Apple cards. And then this Optum of United States was also under regulatory scanner because it had developed an algorithm which recommended doctors and nurses to pay more attention to white patients than to the black patient. So these kinds of misuses may be there, these kinds of discriminatory practices may be there. If we look upon the legal scenario in India, we find that presently we are not having any law, though the Digital Data Protection Bill, the Personal Data Protection Bill 22 is there in the public discourse, and the government has invited various comments for it, that how it is going to affect the lives of the people. But if we look upon the present law, we have only the Information Technology Act, of which Section 43A and 72A somewhere address this problem of misuse of artificial intelligence. So this artificial intelligence has encroached on our human rights, which have been guaranteed not only by the Constitution of India, but by the international conventions also. Because the Article 12 of the UDHR, that is Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and Article 17 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. All these convention declarations talks about the right to dignity, right to life, right to liberty, and then Article 21, which has got a lot of extension through various judicial decisions by the Supreme Court. It has also assured our right to privacy in the case of K. Puttaswamy versus Union of India in 2017. So if this AI interferes too much in our life, so it will affect our life, our dignity, our security, and hence it will violate Article 21 of our Indian Constitution. So this AI, which is profiling our behavior, which is predicting our behavior, sometimes it may become discriminatory, and it may involve the infringement of our right to equality guaranteed by the Constitution of India. Because we know that India is a pluralistic country where we are having minorities, we are having linguistic minorities, religious minorities are there, various caste people are there. So if we are teaching something to a machine, so that may not be able to distinguish, because it will work in the objective manner. It will not be subjective in nature. So it may be sometimes discriminatory in nature and may be violating of the Article 14 of the Constitution. It may violate our Article 15, which talks about not to discriminate on the basis of sex, place of birth, caste, etc. So this AI is very, very dangerous, as we have seen in present times also, because people have become too much dependent upon the technology. And Sir has also pointed out that though it is a discussion is on Industry 5.0, but when I was searching for the material that how the humans are interacting with the machine and how the human rights issues are involved, I too realized that we are still running in the Industry 4.0 and we are stepping into Industry 5.0, because still there are so many issues which need to be deliberated upon, to be discussed and to be debated. So this artificial intelligence has been addressed by India through its data protection bill, that is 2022, because AI is nothing but it works on the basis of the data only that the authorities are having. So this draft bill, that is a digital personal data bill, which is there in the public for the discussion, and the comments are invited. So what are the different highlights of this particular bill? And we all know that since 2018, the efforts are being made to regulate the data which is there in the public. Because when we are searching anything on the Google or on the Chrome, we are certainly sharing our information, our personal information by clicking to their terms and conditions. So knowingly or unknowingly, we are being watched, we are being listened inadvertently by others. Though we are feeling that we are on the computer, nobody is seeing us, nobody is listening and us, we are just working on the computer. But somewhere this AI has helped that there are things which are having an eye 24/7 on our activities. And you have the example of this Pegasus, that how this mobiles were hacked and personal data was taken. And now the technology is so much advanced that what we are doing in our bedroom, what we are doing in our washroom, it all can be monitored by someone sitting miles away. So that kind of technology has come through the artificial intelligence, which is daily interfering in our life. And it has really posed a challenge for the law persons that how to deal with it. So government has come out with this digital data protection bill. Now the recent one is that of 2022. And it says that whatever data is there in the digital form and is processing, whether it is being created inside India or outside India, it will be monitored. And data fiduciary who are collecting the data, they will have the obligation to maintain the accuracy of the data, to keep them secure, and to delete the data once the purpose has been served. And then will also grant certain rights to the individuals, including the right to obtain information, seeking correction, and ensuring that grievances are redressed if any breach of data has been done. The central government has also been given the power under this bill to exempt the governmental agencies from the application of provisions of this bill in the interest of the specified grounds like security of the state, public order, and prevention of the offenses. And this central government will have the authority to create and establish a data protection board of India to adjudicate if there is non-compliance with the provisions of this bill.
Professor Mishra,
Then, just 5 minutes, sir. Just 5 minutes. So what are the key issues under this bill that I would like to discuss? Then I will stop my presentation. So key issues regarding this bill is that the data exemption which has been given to the state, that may violate our fundamental right to privacy, because in the name of security, security and sovereignty, the government agencies may have such kind of data of the human beings, which may interfere with their human rights. And it may also indulge into differential treatment. And we know that during the last time elections also, lots of predictions were made on the basis of the artificial intelligence only. And by using the artificial intelligence, the prospective voters can be used in their own favor. And that is the party who is ruling or anyone who is interested in the vote of the voters to have the vote in their own favor. So, and other objection that is there, that is the data portability is not there, the right to forgotten has not been discussed. So various issues and analysis are there which are involved with the data protection bill. So though the government is making a lot of effort that how this data can be protected, so that the artificial intelligence which is being created on this basis of data, a lot of algorithms which are being created, they may not be misused by anybody. So for that particular purpose, the Niti Aayog has come out with a policy document which gives certain principles, that is the principle of safety, reliability, principle of equality, principle of non-discrimination, principle of privacy, security, principle of transparency, accountability, and the principle of protection and reinforcement of positive human values. So anybody who is dealing with the data, who is collecting the data, that is the data fiduciary, they have to take into account these principles so that the AI is not misused. So what is the way forward? Like the sir has also said that it is a human beings, or it is the man who has created the machines and not the machine who has created the humans. So man has the power to control the machines which they have created, so that it may not mar our legal and the moral rights or the human rights. So we have to be smart enough to see that how we change our behavior, how we change our system, so that this artificial intelligence can be used in our favor and it will not cause any kind of loss to us. So thank you all. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share a few words with you all. The topic was also new for me, and so thank you all for giving this opportunity so that I could also get through it and collect some knowledge on it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your deliberation. The session is open for the questions. Okay, then. Moving forward. Now, I would like to invite our session co-chair, Dr. T.K. Mandal, to share his views.
Okay, the topic, as you know, of this particular session was very interesting. In fact, it attempted to marry three large topics in management practices, legal framework, and Industry 5.0. We had two very learned speakers, and we heard them, and I'm thankful to the audience for being patient and very keen interest in hearing what they said. Professor Ramesh and Professor Mishra from two different fields. One is a management expert, and another is a law expert. I don't want to add much to whatever they have spoken, except by saying that when we talk about management practices, several things automatically come to our mind, and they range from performance evaluation to employee engagement, to communication strategies, to diversity, to continuous improvements, and so on and so forth. And then when we link them and then look back at what legal frameworks we have at present in India, we have several laws related to management. And when we talk about management, we talk about largely in a very large context, business management, or managing business, or running a business. I read somewhere, it's very difficult to, in fact, I couldn't get an exact figure as to how many acts we have at present in India, but then somewhere it said that it's more than 150. And talking about labor laws itself, there are 33 labor laws which are now being consolidated. So there are so many legal provisions. And then I also searched for the legislations or the acts or laws existing in the United States. It says the federal laws they run into thousands, and when you go into the state level, there are several more, many more. So that's the kind of complexity we have. We have on one hand the management of business, on the other hand we have complexity and a very complex structure of legal framework. When we bring in the third dimension, which is Industry 5.0, although I tend to agree with Professor Ramesh regarding the 4.0 and 5.0 interface, but even in 4.0 era, most of these laws would look like primitive, because many of them, in fact, quite a few of them came into being before independence, and we are now talking about Industry 4.0, which we started seeing sometime in the beginning of this century. So yes, there are a lot of things which need to be done. The legal framework has to be in the context of what is going to be the future as far as management practices are concerned and running a business is concerned. I think both the speakers addressed this particular aspect very well. Professor Ramesh, besides mentioning that, and he was very emphatic in this, saying that we are still in 4.0, industry 4.0. He mentioned about to give an insight as to what's going to be 5.0 in our lives. He gave examples of Amazon, Zomato, Infosys shareholding, although Murthy's call themselves as the bosses of Infosys, but the majority of the shareholding is somewhere else. He spoke about the business models of IRCTC, Google, and so on and so forth, to give a glimpse of what's going to be in the coming years or even coming months from Industry 5.0 point of view. Dr. P.T. Mishra spoke about artificial intelligence, and he particularly focused on his favorite area of human rights, how human rights laws are going to come and interfere and infringe into the or rather invade into the privacy of people, but the artificial intelligence is going to infringe into the privacy of people, and what government is doing, government of India is doing to tackle it. So that's another insight on the topic. I think overall we had very good discussions. I know the lunch is waiting and all of us are eager, and the faces tell everything. I don't want to take any further time. I'll invite the session chair to kindly come and conclude, please. Thank you, Professor Mandal, giving again an opportunity to me to share something. It's not a conclusion. It is just a opening of the dialogue. What we are thinking and what we are going to be at tomorrow. Professor Ramesh had given a big challenge to us. We are just as of the industry 5.0 or 5.0. I don't know. But why we are jumping in the point industry 5? That is a big thinking to us. It is just a revival of the human resources or human thinking, as Masonian thinking is that the human is the important for the human motivation is the important to work something. If we are thinking the human is the important, then the industry will grow the better way. We are more concerned about the production. And the number of empirical data were given by the Professor Ramesh is how we can think about the automation to human values. If he is thinking on the Zomato, if he is thinking on the Amul, if he is thinking on the industry and the corporate and the security, how can I ignore about the human values, human resources? Industry never run by the human resources. We had approach in the industry 4, only machine can do the better. But we fail to that, who is the designer of the machine? So we are again thinking, we are important, machine is only our tool. So thank you, Professor Ramesh, you given you very important views about the industry 5. What I observed with the presentation of the Professor Mishra, she is the scholar of the law and IT sector, especially for the artificial intelligence. She included how law may improve with the artificial intelligence or how to help law to the artificial intelligence. We are designer and developer of the artificial intelligence. We know that what are the weaknesses, what is the strong point, what is the ethics, and how law prevent to us. She make the very good comments. Her presentation about the law with the AI, artificial intelligence, from the history to till now, it's a good observation. Thanks to our both of the speaker, Professor Ramesh and Professor Misra. Our honorable member present to here, Mrs. Dhar, Professor Dhar, and Dr. Guru Prasad, my dear students, and other member. If students are our future. So I think that without student, our presence is nothing. So I congratulate to the student for the patience hearing. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. T.K. Mandal to present a memento to Session Chair Dr. Shitla Prasad Pandey, Head in Psychology Wing, Christian College, Ahmedabad, Allahabad.
Thank you, sir.
Now I again request Dr. T.K. Mandal to present a memento to the speaker, Dr. B. Ramesh. Now I request Dr. T.K. Mandal to say few words of gratitude to our speaker, Dr. Preeti Misra. Sir, ma'am को हम बाद में deliver करेंगे पहले आप अभी gratitude.
I think
Personally, I have received. Thank you, sir.
I think you got it. Dr. Misra, thank you once again for being with us, and we'll catch up again and stay connected. Right. Thank you very much.
Sir, thanks.
Thank you all of you. Please move forward for the lunch at the atrium.